200,000 women serve in the U.S. military now, many in combat roles.
Yet the barriers they've broken through were made only possible by the women who served before them. TV 1055's Long Island Bureau Chief Richard Rose spoke with some who paved the way in World War II.
Please give them a big round of applause.
Heartfelt cheers erupted for the women of World War II in Nassau County inside the American Armor Museum in Old Bethpage. Surrounded by the symbols of warfare, these women, all now well into their 90s, were honored for standing up to the notion that combat was for men alone. 94-year-old Barbara Cruz faced hostility when she signed up for the Marine Corps as a teenager.
And the GIs were not happy. Women in the Marine Corps, they tried their darndest to see how many of us they could break down and want to go back home.
Instead of breaking down, Barbara Cruz went on to become a staff sergeant. More than 400,000 women served in the U.S. military during World War II, and about 500 lost their lives. 93-year-old retired Marine Sergeant Tess Pierce Garber says she and her husband signed up following the devastating Japanese attack at Pearl Harbor, citing the example of women then fighting to create the nation of Israel.
I said, if the women in Palestine can fight for the country, why can't the women in America?
Flo Basio points proudly to the vintage photo of her 95-year-old mother Josephine in her Army Air Corps uniform. She says the biggest resistance her mom faced was from her parents.
She tried to change traditions because her family was very rigid about women going outside the family.
Now it's applause and bouquets for these veterans, appearing younger than their years and a bit surprised by the attention.
It's nice. I'm embarrassed, really. I didn't expect this.
Proving the wisdom of this better late than ever recognition for the heroic women of the greatest generation. In Old Bethpage, Richard Rose, TV 1055.
And while women were not allowed in combat, of course, during World War II, they were often on the front lines as doctors, nurses, and technicians. And, of course, that means they were in the danger zone.
That's right, and we thank them for their service.
Absolutely, and they're looking great.
They look amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
All right, coming up.